throughout this hour. The Gas Tanker Driver Association has actually begun a nationwide strike over what it says is government's refusal to reopen some gas stations closed after the 2017 gas explosion at the Atomic Junction here in Accra. Now, the association also says some unresolved welfare issues are part of the reasons for which this strike will continue. Meanwhile, the LPG outlets, as we understand, are not serving customers in solidarity with the gas tanker drivers. James Eshan has been monitoring and touring some of the outlets.
We've seen a lot of cars and a lot of people coming here to refill their cylinders, but unfortunately what we are being told is there's no gas. There's a metallic board that is being written on, sorry, no gas. And we understand that is linked to the sit-down strike with respect to the Gas Tanker Association of Ghana. And I have a lady here who also came some few minutes to refill her cylinder, but unfortunately after seeing this, she decided to go back. So let me engage her and know what were some of the things she was being told. Hi. You're here to fill your cylinder. Tell me, what were some of the messages you were being given?
Okay, I came here this afternoon, but unfortunately for me, when I came, I was told there is no gas. So already I've been to Alajo, but the same situation. I came here, same situation. So that's why I came. Right,
but you were not given any message with respect to whether they are on strike or not?
Oh, okay. As at now, when I came, I realized they were on strike. So the gas tankers are on strike. That is the main reason why my gas hasn't been filled as at now.
Right, so this is what is coming from this young lady. She's been here for almost an hour now trying to fill her cylinder, but unfortunately, after seeing this, she has no option than to go back. We're trying as much as possible to speak to the authorities, but it appears they are really not also ready. But earlier, I attempted to speak to some of the tanker drivers proved futile. All attempts proved futile. Let's speak to the manager of this particular gas refilling station to know what the situation is and why we have that metallic board being written, sorry, there is no boss. Let's engage him briefly here to know what the situation is like. All right, so we have here Mr. Bernard. He is the manager of this particular refilling gas plant, and we want to know why we have that inscription as sorry, no gas. Mr. Bernard, talk to me. What's really the situation now?
The situation is up to the MPA. They complain that the MPA are worrying too much. Sometimes when they lift the load to the destination, in case they're broken vehicle somewhere and they didn't get to their destination, MP will not pay their transport. And mostly when it happens like this too, it affects them. And they say because of that they will go to strike. So the government will come in and do something about it.
But how is this affecting you?
It's affecting us a lot because you can even imagine we're not even selling. When we start this morning, we start the morning, start selling and they have to stop because they're on strike. And also take advice from the negatives. Yeah.
Right, we've seen you turn away a lot of cars and also individuals who are in to refill their cylinders. But are you not communicating any messages? Are you just going with what we've seen here?
No. I told them they were on strike. The tanker drivers are on strike. So there's nothing we can do unless the government comes. So we are waiting for the government. What can?
All right. So basically, they are waiting for the government. They're calling on the government to try as much as possible to pay heed to some of the concerns from this gas tanker drivers.
And James Eshan there with the latest from the various outlets. Would definitely keep our eyes there and bring you some updates. But Joy News is learning that newly recruited teachers have not been paid monthly salaries for well over 6 months. Now, the coalition of the newly recruited teachers who attribute this development to the delay in the issuance of staff identification cards is also indicating that the situation has forced many recruits to depend on their parents for feeding and other needs at their new stations. Well, the group says that it will be helpful if the Ghana Education Service would expedite the issuance of the staff ID cards in order to help recruits get their payments done on time. So let's bring you excerpts of their concerns. First of all, pointing out that the leadership of the coalition of newly recruited teachers Appreciate the efforts of the government of Ghana through the Ghana Education Service to secure the financial clearance to post over 16,000 of its members. However, the leadership would like to draw the attention of the general public to some facts. First of all, the financial clearance of 16,850 newly posted teachers was released on the 19th of November 2021. There's also the point about some appointment letters to the newly posted teachers being released on the 21st of January 2022, which took effect on the 1st of February 2022. Now, about 80% of the newly posted teachers have not received their staff IDs, let alone their salaries. So those who have gone through the biometric process after the list of the second batch was released and have not received their salaries as of the 1st of August 2022. And this situation is not supposed to be as is contained in the statement. Most newly recruited teachers, as we understand, have also been forced to leave on their parents, as the group is indicating, and their meager pocket money to, deal with serious hardship resulting from the non-payment of their salaries for the whole of the 6 months. And at the same time, the Ghana Education Service continues to expect them to show up at work each and every day, which is obviously an irony that the group is pointing out to. And also, at point 6, the group is indicating that the vacation date for basic schools still stands at 11th of August 2022, and an attempt by the Ghana Education Service to continuously release staff IDs during the break will result in some inconveniences for the newly recruited teachers. But beyond this as well, the group is appealing, as we're seeing here, to the Ghana Education Service and all stakeholders involved, so the process can be expedited in terms of issuance of the staff IDs to allow all newly recruited teachers accompanied with a scheduled date for a biometric process, because they believe that this will help solve their problem. So let's hear from the group now. Joining me is Joshua Owusu-Yeboah. He's the Press and Information Secretary of the coalition. Joshua, thanks for your time. How hard has it been for you in the last 6 months, having to work without your salaries paid to you?
All right, thank you very much. And I also thank you for giving me such a great opportunity.
Right. I was just asking the question about how hard it has been for you as the coalition of newly recruited teachers, knowing that some of your members have been working for close to 6 months without receiving your salaries.
All right, thank you very much. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy at all, because we all understand the hardship in this country, and having people who have worked for more than 6 months and these individuals have not been paid is very tedious for us. And as we rightly captured in our release, we have been made to subject to our parents for them to give us some things for us to live on it. Meanwhile, these individuals have sent us to school, and they expect that if nothing at all, now that we have been posted, we can also support the family. But this case has changed. And that is why we are appealing to the Ghana Education Service and the other stakeholders who are involved to expedite the process, because we, the newly recruited teachers, we are suffering. And this
so at the time the staff IDs were being issued, what guidelines were you giving as a group?
Okay, so when the staff, I think we have 2 staff IDs in batches, which has come. The first one that came, I think all our membership, those who had their own, they were told to come to the headquarters, in Accra, at NATS Hostel, for them to go through the biometric process. And the second one too that came, we also had our constituents where they told them to go to their various regions so that they can go through the biometric process. But after these 2 batches, we have not heard anything from GES. And this is a situation which has never happened before. For over 6 months is something that is long overdue. And that is why we have come out with this release.
And from what you're telling us now, is this a general problem for the numbers that you were talking about? Almost all your members, 80% as you're pointing out to.
Yes, it is a general problem. It is a general problem.
Yeah, but how about the 20%? On what grounds are they receiving their salaries?
Okay, so this is how GS normally go through the process.
Right.
When we release the staff ID, then we release it in batches. So that is why the first batch, they have the opportunity to get their staff ID and they went through the biometric process. And the second one too, it came. But after the second one, we were waiting that at least they should also release the other batches so that our people who are suffering also get the opportunity to also go through the biometric process so that they'll be paid. But as it stands now, we understand. So when we read through our release, we stated categorically that we understand that the staff ID, they release it in batches. But for over 6 months, it's something that is long overdue. And I want to bring this one in. The Honorable Minister for Education had appeared on Asase Radio, of which he said that even it is not supposed to be more than 3 months. So he has even accepted the fact that it is not supposed to be 3 months. So the question we are asking is what is really happening in the GS.
Yeah, but the grounds on which you'd receive your salary is, I mean, being pointed out clearly, is that you need the staff ID. That will prove that indeed you are staff of the Ghana Education Service. For those of your members who delayed in registering, I guess it's part of the reasons why we're where we are today, because the 20%, as one would argue, showed up on time, went through the process, and now they have their staff IDs.
All of us have gone through the process. It is not a matter that maybe somebody has gone through the process before the others two went, and it is because of late registration that has resulted to this. No. I can even pinpoint to the fact that there are some people who did late registration, but their own has come. They are receiving their salary. So this is not a matter of late registration. We are all done with our registration. We have gone through the IPPD forms and other things. We have filled everything, of which we expect that this biometric process and the issuance of the staff ID didn't start for a very long time. But here in the case, these things have not happened.
I'm interested in finding out the level of collaboration that's taking place and engagements between your group and that of the Ghana Education Service or the Ministry of Education. What more do we know about the engagements that have gone on?
We are going to do that. But what really triggered this one is that we had our Honorable Minister who even said that he doesn't understand why even the delay is going on. That is the pronouncement from our Honorable Minister. And we understand that definitely this engagement needs to go on. We are scheduled meeting with GES, of which we are going to have a meeting to get the reason why this has delayed. So definitely this engagement is going to go on. So it has been long.
Right. So what's the worst case scenario? What's likely to happen if the payments further delay? At least the staff IDs are not out, which means that controller may not be able to release the payments to your group.
Okay, now we believe in our stakeholders. I've been a leader for teacher trainings. We believe in our stakeholders. We believe in the Honorable Minister. This is a passionate appeal that all the newly recruited teachers are appealing to the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service. We don't want you to reach to a level where you will be held to the ground to take any decision. So we are appealing to the government that the newly recruited teachers, we are suffering. Working for more than 6 consecutive months without pay is something that is very worrying. So we are appealing to the government. We don't want to have any alternative. This is a passionate appeal. We don't want any alternative. All that we want is our staff ID and the payment of our salary. Newly recruited teachers are suffering, and we just want them to, or we want their parents to feel proud that at least we have sent our people to school, they have gotten work, they are working, so at least they can also support the family. But in a situation where those of us who they've spent money on us, we're also relying back on them, it is very bad. So this is the passionate appeal.
Right, and Joshua, but we know that some unconfirmed sources are pointing out that the cards, some of them may be issued by the 11th of August this year. You still say that you have a challenge with that date for, I mean, these ones of some more cards.
You see, 11th of August is the exact date that will be leaving for vacation. So in a situation whereby staff ID will be released, that it means that you need to go back to our regions to do the biometric process. And Honorable, let me be frank here. We have some people who are living in Western region. They have been posted to far upper West. And in the middle of vacation, you release staff ID and you expect such individuals to go back to their region and
Yeah, but why not? That's your station. So you don't expect the Ghana Education Service to now follow up, go after you after your cards are printed.
We understand that. We understand that. That is why we are appealing to them to expedite the process, so that now that we are in school, we are in a place of post, we can do this to reduce the inconveniences. Because imagine someone in the Western.
No, I mean, I'm sorry for cutting through, but what would be the inconvenience here? You are complaining of your salaries not being paid. The cards, as we understand, some of them will be ready by August 11. You're saying because of, your vacation, you would not be able to stay at post just to settle that issue. Then it appears you don't really need the salaries, do you?
Let me come in here. I'm not saying that we will not stay at our post so that we will not do it. We will definitely do that. But that is why this is a passionate appeal. We are just appealing to them. It can even come closer so that we can do it right after our vacation, then we leave. Probably our main focus is to get our staff ID, do our biometric, and get paid to get us relief from all the hardship that we are going through. So this is the passionate appeal that although per your source, you are saying that by 11, some of the staff IDs will be in, but you're also appealing to them that due to some of the inconveniences that it will bring when it is released at that particular time, they're just appealing to them that probably they can bring it closer so that when we are done with it, some of us can go. Because imagine that you are in northern west Savannah region going back to Upper East, and right after your vacation, they will call you that your staff ID should get back. We love our salary. We want the salary.
Right, but Joshua, I just hope that we'll not lose sight of the fact that we're in times of austerity, and that could affect the payment of your salaries as well. Some 6 months, that's what's in arrears. The point is, are you expecting all of that money, 6 months together?
Oh, sure. Surely we are expecting the entire money. And definitely, I trust GS and Controller and Accountant General Department that they are going to do justice to it. Because those of our colleagues who have received their salary, they received it full. And definitely, we believe strongly that we are also going to receive our full month salary.
Okay, then. Let's see what happens in the coming days. I'm grateful, Joshua, for your time here on The Pulse.